Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Zach with Money Pit RC. So in today's video, I'm going to just talk about my 3D printer. I'm going to share my experience, what type of printer I got, and just kind of how I go about printing small items or bodies or anything in that nature. I get a whole bunch of questions and requests on how I print this or what filament I use or what printer I have. So I'm just going to cover it all in one video. So this video is not specifically RC related, but it is. So basically this video is going to be why you should get a 3D printer if you're in the RC hobby, because it definitely comes in handy in a whole bunch of more ways than you can think. So why should you buy a 3D printer if you're into the RC hobby? I'm just going to give you a couple examples. As in a couple, I mean I have a whole bunch. Some might say, wow, you print too much, or wow, does that printer ever stop? No, it's all the time because you don't need to be there. All you really do is hit a button and it prints. I'm just kidding. It takes a lot to get a good print. I'm not saying that these new printers nowadays are difficult. A lot of people will say you just hit a button and click print and it does it, but there's a lot of key factors in getting a good print. We'll go over that later in this video when I actually show you what program I use and my printer and all that, but as of right now, I'm just gonna go over a couple examples of what you can print. You can basically print a whole car if you want. From chassis rails, you can print axle housings, you can print bodies, wheels, you can print tires if you're good with TPU. You can print pretty much anything, any scale accessory that you can think of. You just got to either find the right file, or if you're good with Fusion 360, you can design your own and print it just like that. So the main things that I print all the time is I print magnet mounts, because why don't you need magnet mounts? You need a whole bunch of magnet mounts. So let's say I don't have anything to print. I'll just print a magnet mount just because why not? I always use them and I will always need them. There is a couple different designs of magnet mounts. These are the side magnet mounts that sit on the slider and the magnet attached to the side. So if you have the body, you can clip it to the door or whatever. There's a whole bunch of different types of magnet mounts that you can print. So that's just a little example. Skid plates. You need an SCX24 skid plate. You can print that. The main thing, bodies. If you don't want to buy bodies, you can print your own bodies. There's a whole bunch of free files. You just kind of gotta look. Bodies. Bodies. You can print a lot of bodies. Roof racks, links. You need some high clearance links or type of links. You can print those. Scale accessories, frame rails, chassis rails. You can print that. The options are endless if you're in the RC hobby with a 3D printer. Honestly, it is the best bang for your buck. Everything in this bed I printed. Well, besides the tarp, but little gas bottle, shovel, little basket, jerry cans. I printed this whole body, printed the winch, printed the snorkel. You can also print in TPU, which is like a small rubber. So this is actually a soft. I printed these paddle tires. You can also print inserts for tires. Endless, endless. So I'm going to take you over to my 3D printer area, which is just a desk. And I'm going to show you what machine I have, what program I use. So this video is not like a how-to use a 3D printer. So here is my 3D printer. It is a Creality Ender 3 V3 SE. On sale, this printer is 120 bucks. It is a very budget printer. It is a very beginner friendly printer. It has auto bed leveling. It has a whole bunch of features that I don't know, but all I know is that it prints exactly what I need it to. So when I'm printing bigger stuff, I just have my blink camera set up here just so I can watch it. Let's say I'm doing like a 7-hour print and I'm at work. I can keep an eye on it just in case, because they do tend to go wonky sometimes. Even if you printed it 100 times, the 101st time, it's going to go wonky. So just keep that in mind. Over here, as you can see, I do use Cura. So the programming that comes with Creality isn't that bad. So with Cura, you can really fine tune the details of the prints and it really helps a lot with the quality of the prints and the speed and all that, because there's a lot more adjustability. And by no means I am a printer professional. I am still a noob, an amateur. I really don't know what I'm doing, honestly, but I can get some good prints every now and again, so that's why I'm here. Thankfully, I have a really good buddy that helped me through this process. It is a long and strenuous process to get your first couple prints down, but once you kind of understand it, and with a whole bunch of help of YouTube, you can get decent prints right off the gate. Especially with an auto leveling bed, you really don't need to worry about it, but you still do. I still have to make Z adjustments, which I'm not going to go into detail about every single thing and how to print and all that, but I'm just going to show you a couple little tricks and tips that I've learned along the way when I print stuff. Oh yeah, I'll leave a link in the description box below of my printer where you can pick one up at. They do have a whole bunch of other top of the line printers, but like I said, this one's just a budget one, like lowest grade printer you can get. Alright, so the two main sites that I use is Cults 3D and Thingiverse.com. So Cults 3D, they have a whole bunch of files. You can just type in SCX24, and as you can see, they have a whole bunch of stuff, but they do have files you can purchase. So if you come up here and click free, it'll show you all of them that are literally free, no charge. All you need to do is download it to your computer, and you can upload it into your choice of app or program that you use for a 3D printer. I will say though, the ones that I purchased are probably some of the best prints that you can get. They print really good, and it gives you good descriptions of how to print and what settings. But once you find your file, you're going to download it to your computer, and then you're going to come over to, like I said, I use Cura, so I'm going to upload a file. We'll just do this gas bottle. So as you can see, it's literally like a little propane tank. But once you find your file, all you have to do is, basically the settings will be the same. It's going to be a little complicated once you first open it up and go through all the stuff, but if you just Google or YouTube, it'll basically walk you through it. And then all you do is just click slice. It'll slice it. This takes 23 minutes. You can preview it, so it shows you how it's going to print, what it's going to look like. I'm printing with supports just so this doesn't collapse up top. So I'm going to save it. So then all you do is transfer it to an SD card, and then you put the SD card in the printer. So once you get everything set up on the computer, you put it in the SD card. Very easy. Just do the first one, and all you do is hit print. It's going to heat the bed, it's going to heat the nozzle, and once those get up to temp, it's going to start printing. Every print is going to be different. It doesn't matter if you print like a chassis, if you print wheels, accessories, you're going to have to dial it in just a little bit with like the infill and the speed. If you're using like a different nozzle, there's a whole bunch of stuff. So before you go out and just buy a printer and just expect it to work, it's not going to. Yes, the technology is really good nowadays, but there's always going to be hiccups. There's always going to be problems. You're going to have to dial it in, but don't let that scare you, because it's not as hard as everybody says. With the resources of YouTube and just Google in general, and if you have somebody that knows 3D printing, it really helps. You can just ask them a question or just Google your problem. Let's say you're having a problem with like the nozzle or whatever. There's going to be your answers on the internet. It may not be your solution, but just try it. It's basically trial and error. So I'm kind of a cheap butt. I do have on-brand filament, but I did find 3D Innovators. They do have good filament. It's pretty cheap. These are 2.2 pound rolls, which you can get them for anywhere from $10 to $20 depending on the actual brand and all that, but normal PLA is what I basically use. I have a couple PETG, I have some TPU, which is over there. I have ABS. Again, every filament print's different. I have good luck with Creality filament just because it is on brand. Quality is probably a little bit better than like a $15 roll. You just got to dial in the settings and you can get it decent prints with other filaments. Don't let it scare you. I know it might be a little intimidating getting a printer and trying to relearn everything, but it's not as hateful as everybody says. Yes, you're gonna have problems, you're gonna struggle, you're gonna wanna pull your hair out, but it's not that bad. It's definitely worth it. If I didn't have a printer, I wouldn't have all these amazing bodies, I wouldn't have chassis, I wouldn't have any of this stuff. And if I did, I would have had to buy it, which that $15 roll of filament, I can print probably 20-30 bodies and hundreds of accessories. It doesn't take much filament to print that stuff. So I just wanted to share this video just to answer a couple questions. Hopefully I answered them. Hopefully this video isn't just a mumbled mess. I don't know, but if you guys like this video, make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe. If you haven't already, you know I enjoy reading through all your feedback. I'll catch you guys in the next video.